Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, so Taurus, tonight we have the Queen of Wands. This is a lady that has been through it. She is fortified by that fire. She is absolutely, if you can imagine, like a sword that has been, tempered in the flame. That's what the Queen of Wands is all about. She is not one to be messed with. She has gone through a continued self-evolution, okay? She has gotten better and smarter and more aware and more creative and more skilled and so on and so on and so on. Excuse me. So this is a wonderful energy to have in our reading. And it tells me, I have this feeling that it is an indicator of not necessarily the end of problems, right? We all have problems and we'll always have problems as long as we are upright, right? And so, but this is about your ability to traverse some of, the most treacherous landscape, right? And not only that, absolutely thrive. So you're that person that goes in, when everybody else is running away, you're running towards the problem so that you, hopefully, right, can fix it, right? Or do something. But I'm thinking of like a first responder or something like that. So let's go ahead. We're going to twirl this thing around, and then we're going to knock 3 times. We're going to ask the tea leaves to show us what it wants us to see. Right? What information do you have for me? And we knock to be polite, of course. And we're going to go ahead and take a look here. And so I want to also say thank you so much for deciding to, I'm sorry. I saw the big Y-O over here. And also, really, as I'm looking at this, it does look like Y-O right here, like yo. And it might even be Y-O-I. But it also looks like, if you get in here, it looks like it is the number 2540. 2,540. Now, interestingly, we have a key right here. We also have a key over here. We have a person sitting here. You can see the head kind of sitting in a chair, kind of, I would say in kind of a lounging, maybe slumped back a little bit. Definitely not in like an erect posture, right? With your shoulders up and your head is up and you're strong and confident. No, this is more of a relaxed, kind of taking it all in. It reminds me of that commercial from the 90s with the stereo system. And the guy's sitting in the chair and the sound hits him and all of his clothes and his hair's flying or whatever. That's kind of the position that I imagine. So it feels like a place of contemplation, a slowing down. We have the snail right up there. A slowing down, going slow, baby steps. And I think that you've been looking. You've been looking for a way out of whatever problem has arisen most recently. I'm imagining, I'm looking at a fish here. It is financial, most likely. Which, listen, you're not alone, right? So I feel like you've been trying to figure out what is the next move. Where are you going to put your resources and your efforts? Because whatever's going on right now is not working. And we have the horse that looks kind of tired, a little bit like lame, right? And just kind of scraggly, worn out. And I feel like maybe you feel, and we have the Z, like you're coming to an end, okay? Now, I don't mean the big end, okay? Don't get me wrong here. That's not what I'm saying. I mean that you are realizing however you've been living, maybe whatever job you have, the place that you live, the relationship you're in, some fundamental aspect of your life is not working. And you are acutely aware of this. And you've been sitting and contemplating. Now, I'm not saying you're just sitting around twiddling your thumbs. Something about this new era that we live in, there's almost like a guilt, a shame put on sitting and considering, thinking, daydreaming. Like this is some kind of waste of time. Well, I argue that more people need to sit down and think things through. More people need to learn how to contemplate. Okay? Contemplation is an art form. I mean, really, in its highest levels, right? It is an art form. But it is something that we have not prioritized collectively, right? And I don't think that many people sit around and think about things as much as they used to. We're busy. We have endless stimuli. But here I see you are prone. You're prone to the thinking. You are a thinker. Dare I say an overthinker at times. And that's the thing, right? Trying not to cross over into rumination or lamentation. I don't know how you say it. Lamenting, right? And what does that mean? Going over every little thing that you've ever done or said or should have done or whatever, and feeling sorry or upset that you didn't or you did. And going over that loop again and again and again. Nah, this is about contemplation. Okay, so we have two keys. Two things will be coming through for you. Now, it could be two options, two doors, two keys. You choose. But I don't think that's it. I feel like this is you opening more than one door for yourself. Not only figuring out the way to obtaining what it is you wish for. I imagine, again, we talked about resources, money, being more secure in life, having, some stability and assurance that things might be okay in the future, especially financially. I see this working out beyond your expectations. I do. I think that you're going to end up making more money than you imagined. But with this brings problems like anything else, right? Every blessing has its troubles. And every trouble or troubles have their blessings, right? The best blessings are hidden in the troubles, really. But I see this really kind of causing a change in a friendship. We have the dog here, so I know that this is your person. This is like your main person. You are loyal to each other. You're two peas in a pod. You've known each other for a long time. And if not, it feels like it. Lifetimes, right? There's a soul bond. But as this money starts to come in, as you start to get more and more successful in whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to take more of your time. Of course it is. And I feel like whoever this is, if this is like a sibling, a best friend, you know, whoever, there's a pain. Maybe they feel left out. Maybe they feel a little abandoned. They definitely feel jealous. There is a jealousy there. I feel like this is going to be maybe the trade-off that has to happen. This relationship is going to suffer as you do more and more and more and get on, really. And I feel like for you, in your mind, it's like, let's all eat. We can all eat. We can all do, you know, we can all put up numbers. We can all get going here, right? But for whatever reason, there's such a resistance. It's like you're with a person, and I actually don't think that this is a spouse. But I feel like this is, like I said, a friend, a really close, like, soul bond. But for whatever reason, they are stuck in the place that they are. Like, they are not evolving as a being. And they're not interested in changing, in doing the interior work, in expanding their horizons, in creating opportunities for themselves. They're just cool with what they have going. Which is fine, you know, obviously. That's cool. If that's what they want, that's what they want. But what's not cool is them getting some kind of attitude or feeling some type of way because you're getting up and deciding to really work hard towards your goal. And when it makes a little money, and it starts to gain some traction, for this person to put out that, let's face it, kind of hater energy, it's perplexing. It's not only perplexing, it's heartbreaking. It's like, why are you stealing my joy here? But also, on the other side of it, you're too busy to care about this kind of stuff, right? Now, one day, when you slow down, you might. But for now, this is one of those things that you have to accept. They made the decision to, you know, listen, it's normal to feel envious or jealous or, you know, whatever. I remember when I had like nothing going on in my life, or I say that like it's true. It's not true. I mean, I had stuff going on. I was healing. I was going through it. I was grieving. I was getting sober. You know, I was alone for the first time in my life. I had never lived by myself, you know, these kinds of things. But as far as like really having something going for myself, not too much. No. And I would look around and I'd see people I grew up with and, you know, family and just random people doing so well, or at least what I perceived to be doing so well. And of course I felt left behind. Of course I felt like, what the heck? You know, why don't I get everything handed to me? You know? It's easy to fall into that thinking. And it's natural. I think it's natural for all of us to at least have it. Now, if you decide to fully jump and immerse yourself in it, jump right into that pool of just negative thinking, you know, that's on you. And I feel like that's what's happened here with this person. And it's hard to understand, why would somebody do that? Because you know them and they know you. At the same time, what can you do? You can't change anybody. You can't force somebody to understand. You can't force somebody to accept what is. That's on them. And so I do feel like there is a heartbreak here. But you move on. You move on. And honestly, in these kind of situations, I say thank you for revealing to me, both universe and person, you know, what you're really about. You know, I'm like constantly saying this to my husband. I'm like, you know, the world that we live in, we want to censor people. We don't want, you know, people saying wild things, hurtful things, you know, just stuff that's, it pains you to know that people are living their life feeling this way about others, about the world, whatever. And so what is, you know, collectively, not everybody, of course, but collectively, yeah, there's been this push towards silencing people, you know, and I understand that. I don't want to hear it either. But you know what? At the same time, God bless the person brave enough to show us how unsafe they might be, right? Or who I should stay away from, or who I need to look out for. Because I don't want to live in a world where everything is kind of, you know, neatly put together and I have no idea how people really move. So in this situation, as terribly painful as it can feel, and now I'm not saying that like this is the worst person ever, you can't ever, you know, be close with them. But of course you're going to end up distancing yourself. Because you can't have that kind of energy while you're trying to come up. So we say thank you. Thank you for showing me who you are, what you're about. And a big sigh. And a big sigh. All right. I don't want to get coughing here. Look at that face. Look at that face. I know. It looks like it's kind of like, ugh. I do. I feel like, you know, I'm a very superstitious person, obviously. But I do feel like whenever something really good comes, you know, becomes a possibility in our life, we have to go through a process of shedding things. We have to balance things out. And so there is always some kind of sacrifice that comes with success and fortune and figuring it out. Like what, you know, that thing that finally clicks and starts working. And you're like, okay, here we are. I'm coming up. My career's on fire, you know, it's going. There is going to always be something that you have to balance that out with. And oftentimes it does. It manifests as like problems with family, within relationships, this kind of thing. So I feel like there is... we have the phallic, so it's a grandfather maybe. This is a very masculine feeling. Something about going camping. Now we also have a rooster. So I would say this is indication that there's some kind of alarm. Like something's gonna, here's your, here's the little warning that something's going to be going off pretty soon. Something's happening. Not the case here, though. I feel like this is a literal rooster. And I'm looking at, it's right here. Here's the rooster right there. Now over here we have the person sitting. It looks like they have like a little pan. Okay, so I almost feel like maybe you went camping with this grandfather. Maybe they taught you about, I don't know, survival stuff. They taught you how to take care of animals, how to cook, whatever it is. It feels very much like a very outdoorsy farm kind of life, maybe. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe it was suburbs or city, and you would escape out to the camping zones, out to the wilderness. And, whatever it is, the ultimate thing here is that this was a person, and I do think that they have passed away. This is a person who really impacted who you are as a being. You learned a lot from them. And I feel like this was a very stoic person as well. Like, only said what they needed to, right? Not just like me, rambling constantly. But very discerning, very intentional about their movements, about, the choices they made, where they put their energies, the time that they put into things. And here's the thing, and this really ties it together. Especially the people that they let into their lives. Now, you might have seen this person as maybe kind of a loner, or thought, why don't they have more friends? They're so charming, they're wonderful, they're skilled. It's not because they couldn't make friends. They didn't want people in their life. They were focused. It was family, and it was maybe like one or two other people, and that's all they had in their life. As far as, other human beings, right? And I think that some people probably felt sorry for them. But I think that you're coming into the understanding now. You might even be about that life now. And so I see you finding a lot of freedom and just not really caring so much about what other people think or what they want from you or whatever, because you are focused on your work. You're focused on your goals. You're focused on your well-being. And I think that's a good thing. If you want my 2 cents, I think that's wonderful. All right, let's see. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 63, 92, 77. All right, and we'll do our self-care affirmation cards, and I'm just going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right in the middle there. Okay, come on now. Seeds of change. I am growing into the best version of myself. Sprouting within me is a seed of possibility. I am gentle with myself in progress. I nurture my personal development with patient attention. I nurture my I nurture my personal development with patient attention. All right. Well, Taurus, I want to tell you I love you and I thank you for spending this time with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself. Keep your hands washed. This has been the relentless flu season. It has been so bad over here. So please do better than we've been doing. And don't get the flu over and over again. But yeah, anyways, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. What was the other thing? I'm trying to remember what I had to say. I don't know. I'm getting goofy. It's time to go to bed, I think. Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, yes, Taurus, if I think of it, I will hop back on and splice it in. But other than that, yes, I love you. Good night. Good night. Good night.